Hello, dear ones. Welcome to your full moon update for April 2024. This is the first full moon after the eclipse pattern, after the eclipses that we've had. So we're starting a new cycle now. Also, with the sun in Aries, we've started the Vedic New Year, but this can be an emotional time. It can feel kind of intense, like the path is shifting, but you don't know where it's going yet, and you're still waiting for that next step to arrive. We've got a Mercury retrograde. There's still quite a bit of uncertainty, but this full moon is going to shine the light on you and on your relationships and what you need to pay attention to, what you need to up level in yourself in order to be ready for the next steps. Hi, I'm Prema and welcome to Chart Your Path. I am so glad that you are here. I appreciate you as a subscriber. I appreciate those of you who are going to subscribe today and to share this and like this. It just helps the video get seen by other people as well. If you don't know what your Vedic ascendant is or your Vedic moon is, then you'll want to check out the free chart calculator. The link is in the description, and you'll get your chart. You'll also get a guide to how to look at your chart, and that'll really help you with these updates. The full moon on April 23rd is in Libra at about 10 degrees. And this again is the first full moon after the eclipses that we have had. So there's a lot of illumination of your consciousness here, especially around connections and relationships, because Libra is the sign of balance. It is ruled by the connector Venus, which is still tied up with the eclipse pattern until a couple of days after this full moon. So things are still a little bit questionable as far as the energy goes. You're going to want to be very tuned in and really be moving from the inside out. And in fact, that's usually where we want to be, because we can't go wrong moving from the inside out. Another really important thing with this full moon is that April 20th, just prior to this full moon, we have had the Uranus-Jupiter conjunction. This conjunction in Aries at 27 degrees, I talked about in the April update, so you'll want to refer back to that forecast, the April update, and where I talk all about that. But what I do want you to know is that Jupiter and Uranus are also aspecting this full moon, because Aries is across the chart from Libra. And with that, there's this energy that has been triggered now of sudden changes and sudden bursts of insight, actually, and a new beginning at a certain level. And when it comes to this conjunction energy, it really is an innovative, revolutionary sort of breakthrough kind of energy, and it is encouraging us all to really walk to the beat of our own drummer, to really be our own uniqueness. And so is the sun in Aries at the time of this full moon. The soul, our identity, our purpose, the sun represents. So this is a time to very much so reconnect with you and your divine gifts. And in fact, if you do not know what those are, then you will want to get your Sacred Wealth Code or take the free Sacred Wealth Code quiz. The link is down below for that as well. And that will really help you to understand what are your highest value divine gifts. That's what this full moon is calling you to animate. So we want to animate our gifts, really be able to stand into our uniqueness, but also there's a deep seeking of balance and harmony in relationships, because this full moon is happening in Libra, again ruled by the connector, the full moon being very much the great nurturer here, and that's an opposite where the sun is exalted in Aries, and that's very much our king. So a really dynamic energy we have. And let's keep in mind too, Mercury, the great communicator, is still in retrograde until the 25th and tied up with the north node of the moon in a conjunction. We need to kind of get past the 28th before it's sort of free of that actual conjunction, but it's not going to be in Aries until I believe that maybe the 10th of May. Stay tuned for the May update for that. So we still want to be careful with our communication, have our communication well thought out. So with Libra, this energy is really calling out our authenticity and us to have really good boundaries and the kind of compromises that we make to be in relationship, to be very aware of, are we compromising too much? How can we create more balance in our relationships? How can we create more harmony? And we might need to re-examine some of our agreements. And this full moon will really shine the light on where maybe you've overcommitted, maybe where your boundaries aren't strong enough, maybe where you are somebody else's boundaries. Where have you compromised too much just to hang on to a connection, a relationship, and maybe where you need to relinquish that to come back into balance. And this is the natural 7th house of the zodiac, Libra is. And there's this polarity between our identity, who we are, and who we are in relationship to another. And this is, again, the underlying energy is balance and harmony and really wanting that. But if we compromise too much, then we are out of the relationship. Might seem okay, well, it's okay, it's settled, it's balanced. But is our end of the scale uneven? Have we compromised too much that we don't feel like we can be ourselves and be more fully expressed in our relationship? Is the energetic cost too high? That's a really good question for you to sit with this full moon, and one we will be diving into with all these issues in the full moon healing circle on the full moon. And the link is down below for that. So the nakshatra this is happening in within Libra is Swati. Swati is ruled by Rahu. It's a very airy sign. Libra is an airy star and Libra is an airy sign. It's a mystical placement in many ways, has a lot of strength. It's really called the star of self-actualization and independence. And there's sort of a flexible, unbreakable spirit within the nakshatra of Swati that is said to really give you the energy to be able to succeed against incredible odds if you are facing odds. And the way I like to interpret that is that it really gives you the fortitude. It gives you not only the desire from within, but gives you that inner spirit strength that you need in order to maybe move past something that is a challenge, or you really are perceiving is a challenge. Because a lot of times when things aren't working for us, especially in relationships, we weave a whole story about how things will be painful in different ways if we're not in the relationship. Or we believe that if we're going to address bringing balance to this relationship through a conversation or whatever it might be, then it's going to be, the relationship will be on or it'll be off. Relationships don't end, they simply shift. And it doesn't mean it has to be over. Although we might see some endings with this energy as well. Swati is all about you being fully, authentically expressed. And in truth, that's a really great question to sit with yourself. Are you fully expressed? We'll be, again, looking at this in the healing circle and where we're not fully expressed. I know that this is always high on my intentions for life is being fully expressed. And, I have not measured up to that yet. I'm continuing to become aware of myself, find myself and my gifts, and how can I express all of that, and where does it feel safe to express it, and where doesn't it feel safe? And just even that question, I mean, there's places where you're very safe and you're just let it all hang out in your full expression. Maybe that's with people maybe it's with people you don't know. And there is those places in those relationships where, whether it's your parents or whoever, I can't really be all of who I am. So this is a time to really give us the power to really break through what's holding you back from that authenticity. And and especially in this sort of craving of a new direction and a new beginning with the start of the Vedic New Year right after the solar eclipse, like, where's the direction going? Well, that all starts with you, and it's a really good time to start tuning into that in relationship to you being all of who you are. Vata is the wind god, and it is said to be the animator of life. It is the invisible force that keeps our hearts breathing, keeps us alive. The breath breathes us. We come into this incarnation on an inhale, we leave on an exhale. The nature of the wind, the nature of this energy, Vayu, is to scatter. This is a time when it's going to be very powerful on this full moon to do breath work. We always do that in the full moon healing circles. Some simple breath work you can do is you can do box breathing, where you breathe in for 4 to 6 counts, you hold it for 4 to 6 counts, you breathe out for 4 to 6 counts, and then you hold it again, you pause, you don't strain yourself. Long, deep inhalations in, long, deep inhalations out. There's nostril breathing. There's many different kinds of breath work, but breath work is incredibly powerful all the time, but it is very much so called for on this full moon. So I encourage you to use it. It'll be very supportive in your clarity of consciousness and your sense of who you are and who you are in relationship to others as well. It's a very, very powerful time of transformation, of doing inner work, of really journaling around, where are the relationships, what relationships do you have that are you in that, just feel off to you? Either you feel like you're not fully showing up, or you may feel like the other isn't fully showing up, or you just feel like you're just a mess. It's just not in sync anymore. And is this a relationship? What can you do? A lot of times we like to point the finger at someone else. If they were this way, if they were that way. Well, in truth, what could you shift within yourself? Is there something you need to let go of? How could you be more fully self-expressed in this relationship for yourself, but within this relationship as well? And what's holding you back from doing that? The relationship compromises and agreements need to be reevaluated, and making sure that they're great for all involved. And there's usually a lot of energy around the lack of willingness, or fear, I should say, of letting go. It doesn't mean we have to let go of a relationship. We have to let go of our judgments, maybe who we are, and also who we're not being. How can we be more of who we are? And then just the pure acceptance of the other for who they are, which doesn't mean we let our boundaries get crossed, or we stay in a configuration of an agreement in a relationship that doesn't serve us. But, we have to stop trying to make other people other than they are as well. So great time to be looking at our balance and harmony in relationships, and where we want to shift and change that, with the power behind this to give us the light to really see into where we haven't been seeing, and the power to really support us in making any choices or shifts or changes within ourselves that we need to, in order to really feel like we do have harmony and balance in our relationships in a big way. So this is a very potent time to heal and to activate and to transform, where you are stuck. Where are you not fully expressed? How would you like to be expressed more? As we start to open up to this new path, and we'll be doing all of that in the full moon healing circle, where we'll be really working at cultivating harmonious energy, so that we can have really conscious relationships. And the first conscious relationship we have starts with ourselves. The link is down below for that. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you at the Full Moon Healing Circle. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Full Moon Update. Please share, please like this, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel and this information resonates for you. If you're wanting a reading, my links are down below for all my personal one-on-one readings, my programs, and all my free gifts are down there as well. All right, so much love to you.